tell you a little story. I had just left Leon. It was still dark outside, and it was really cold. It was down in the low 30s. Nothing was open yet, and I had not had any breakfast, or I had not had my cup of coffee. I was walking along. I was not in a particularly good mood because I hadn't had my cup of coffee, and I stopped, took my pack off, and I was going to put on my wool hat and my gloves. Nobody else was on the street except for this one guy, and he was also a pilgrim. He had on a day pack, I think, and he walked up to me and he said, "Buen Camino." I said, "Buen Camino." That's the typical greeting. And he said, unsolicited, "I hiked the Appalachian Trail. That's a hike. This is just a walk." And he left. He walked away. And I thought, what a jerk. I'm here suffering, and he's says it's just a walk. And then I started to think about it, and I went, you know what? He's right. This is not a backpacking trip. This is a hike in between towns. So the gear you take is different than what you would take on a backpacking trip. So let's talk a little bit about gear. Everybody loves to talk about gear. I spent a good portion of my time preparing for this, going over the types of gear that I would take. And as I said before, I was driving my wife crazy. I would come out and say, "What do you think of this?" And she'd just roll her eyes. So here's what I've come up with. They say you pack your fears. Well, this is pretty much what I thought I needed to take a month-long trip on the Camino. Before I left, I laid out everything that I thought I was going to be taking, and I weighed it. My pack came to about 23 pounds. Well, let's talk about clothes. These are the clothes that I took on the Camino. And, you know, your clothes are just a very personal thing. What you feel you need to get by on the Camino and be comfortable. So I can tell you right off that I took too many clothes. What I needed and what I thought I needed were two different things. So let's go over what I took. Probably the most important thing is your footwear. What you're going to wear on your feet is going to determine how comfortable you are on the Camino or on any hike. A lot of people like boots. Personally, I like the trail runners. This pair was a pair of ALTRAs. I was hiking at about 300 miles, and my feet were just killing me, and I couldn't understand it. There was no reason for it. I was wearing those ALTRA trail runners that I showed you, and finally I realized that they had just worn out. There was no support whatsoever with them. They're not really made to go more than about 300 or 400 miles. And I'd already hiked, before I even left, I'd already hiked maybe 100 miles in them. So they were done. I stopped hiking with those, and I started hiking with these Teva trail sandals. I was really dubious about doing that. I thought, well, what am I going to do if I come up some rocks or something that's going to hit me? Actually, they were fine. I felt really comfortable in them, and although they weren't as sturdy as a pair of shoes, I liked them. Once I got to Santiago, though, I knew I was going on to Finisterre, so I stopped in a shop at Santiago, and I bought these too expensive ALTRAs. And you like the orange color? So I wore those for the last 100 miles or so. From there, let's see, a fleece jacket. This is from REI, and I wore that just about every day, at least starting off in the morning. Sometimes I wore it at night when it was particularly cool in the albergues. I'd wear that to sleep in, and then of course in the middle of the night I have to get up and get rid of it. I took a puffy jacket. This balls up into a little sack, and I wore it several times, but not every day. And this jacket I got at Walmart. It was really inexpensive. It's a duck down puffy. I have more expensive puffy jackets, but I didn't feel I was going to need something that was that insulative. I took this buff. This is not made by Buff. This is from Cabela. And I used this when it got really cold. I put it around, you can see on some of the videos, I put it around my neck and up on my face, keep my face warm. I brought a handkerchief, thinking I might need that to wash with or whatever. Never touched it. I also brought sun gloves. And I wore these probably about half the time. I'm very worried about sun exposure. 2 weeks before I went onto the Camino, I had surgery on my arm to remove a skin cancer. So I'm fair-skinned and I'm prone to skin cancer. It's caused by the sun. And so it was important for me to cover up. Next thing I took was a t-shirt. This is a merino wool t-shirt. Oh, too expensive. And I thought I would wear this every day. And I never wore it hiking. I wore it at night to sleep in. It's real soft and comfortable. I wore that to sleep in, and basically my underwear to sleep in. I would take that again. It's very light. Merino wool has a quality to it where it doesn't stink. So I really enjoyed that. This is a pair of compression socks. I thought, well, that would be a good idea to have compression socks. They go all the way up to my knees. I wore them one time just to see how they would work. I didn't need them, not doing that. So this is the pair of socks that I bought in Saria. These are Injinji socks. These are the toe socks. And for a senior citizen, you think, that's the damn dumbest thing I ever saw. I love these things. I had no blisters the entire Camino except for one tiny blister on the left heel, and that was because of the sandals. I blew out my first pair. My toes were sticking out. You know, they lasted about 400 miles, I guess. And I wished I'd taken 2 pair. This is a pair of socks that I bought from REI. Actually, the lady that I was talking to there sold me on these socks. They're called a right sock, W-R-I-G-H-T. They're like, I don't know, you feel them, they're kind of like double-walled socks. Guaranteed not to cause blisters. I wore these with my sandals in camp. And I don't remember wearing them at all hiking, but they were good camp socks. Underwear. I bought this pair of underwear. These are synthetic underwear. They're called Diamond brand Extra Strong. I wore these every day on the Camino. That was pretty much what I wore to hike in. At night, I would wash them and I would wear just a regular pair of underwear to hang out in camp with. I brought these. This is actually kind of a gym shorts. And I did wear them, but only because I wanted to say I wore them. Didn't need those. Okay, this is a sun shirt. It's kind of a formal looking shirt, but I wore this about half the time. This is from REI, and it's supposed to be SPF 50. I think it is because I never got a sunburn on the whole Camino, and I was outside every day. I brought this too. I bought this at Walmart, 15 bucks. It was a fishing shirt. It's a short sleeve, SPF 50. And I did wear this, but I didn't wear it to hike in. I wore it in camp. I also took this. This is a hoodie sun shirt. And when I wasn't wearing the white shirt, I was wearing this. At first I thought this might be too hot to wear, but I wore it the whole time, or at least when I wasn't wearing the white shirt, and I really liked it. You could put the sleeves down over your hands, so when I was wearing this, I didn't necessarily have to wear the sun gloves. This was well worth it. I think I got this through Amazon. You can just look up sun shirt hoodie, and there's all kinds of them. I also got this on Amazon. This is a pair of shorts, just like gym shorts. And I never hiked in shorts, not one day. but I thought I should bring some shorts just in case I needed to. What I did use those for is swimming. They became my swim shorts. And I went swimming a couple of times on the Camino, and I wore those. Lastly, or now almost last, this is the same material, very lightweight material, but they're like sweatpants. They're long leg sweatpants. And I wore those in camp. When I was, basically what you do is you wash your hiking stuff at the end of the day and you wear your camp clothes. So you need 2 pairs of clothes. Last thing was the hat, very important. I got this hat, couldn't tell you where I got it, probably REI. And it's got a wide bill on it. It's very lightweight. If you can see in here, this is a place where it vents air so it stays cool. And it has this little shade back here that shades your neck. Wore that every day. These pants I've had from REI, I've had for several years. I've probably got 1,000 miles on these pants. These are called roll-up hiking pants. They're not the convertible ones. I've got some of those. I don't particularly like how they feel around where the zipper is. These, if you can see, they button up. So when I said I didn't wear shorts, it's not entirely true. I did a couple of times button these up so it was just like a knicker. It was around my knees. But I only did that a couple of times. I really love these things. I looked online to put a link in the description, and I think they're discontinued. So if somebody finds them, let me know. They're called roll-up hiking pants. What could I have done without? I could have done without my nice shirt that I loved. I could have done without the short sleeve shirt. I think I probably would have taken this, worn this. Probably would have taken this, worn this at night. And let's see. That's kind of it. I think I'd have taken everything else. 2 more things I almost forgot. One is a raincoat. This is the raincoat I took. I had this at home. I didn't buy it for the Camino. And I was complete overkill. This thing's heavy. I wore it a couple of times. Needed a raincoat, but I could have gotten by with a lightweight rain jacket. And this, I don't know, this probably weighs a half a pound. Totally not something I should have taken. The other thing is, I had a pair of gloves that I bought in Burgos, and at this moment I can't find them, but they were some really nice wool gloves, very lightweight, something that was absolutely necessary to have gloves. Next time on Hiking the Camino on American Senior's Way, we'll discuss the various equipment that I took with me, including my pack choice, why I made that choice, and what I would have done different. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy these videos, please like and subscribe.